This is Jonathan Aggie of Fifth Pro Boxing Fans, joined by John Fury here in Dusseldorf, of all places, ahead of Roman Fury's fight this Saturday on the Kabayel Niba card. Someone you've always had so much respect for is Anthony Joshua. I remember when you and him crossed paths in Saudi Arabia. He came within inches of losing his life, and you put out a very heartfelt message in a video on your post on your social media. When you look at that situation, I know you've put out your thoughts, but you know it's bigger than boxing. This, he lost two of his close friends.
My hairs are standing up thinking about that now. You know, I'm so glad he's alive. You know, and that deepest sympathy for his two friends. But I just don't know how he's alive. It's blood-curdling to think that an accident could take place like that. You know, and now it's coming out that people hasn't got driving licences. AJ's got to give his head a wobble, hasn't he? And have some proper people what's got his back around him. You know, because if that was my son, I'd forbid him to be around anybody like that. A man of his stature and his position, you should be doing proper checks on people he's running around with. You know, not saying that they're doing anything untoward, but two men's dead, so they couldn't have been doing things that properly, could they? You know, you've got to be switched on. Life's so fragile. You're blinking, it's over. You know, and but with a shock like that, what he's been through, I don't know where his head's going to be for quite some time, because it's a traumatisation you're looking at there. But let me tell you, I've always been a fan of AJ. Him and Tyson, it's business. They're both businessmen and they're rivals, but you know what? I sat down with Tyson, and Tyson was absolutely trembling when he watched him. He was shocked to his boots, because he looked at me and I looked at him and I said, look, this is what can happen if you haven't got the right people around you. You know, and at the end of the day, he just needs to step more carefully, does AJ, you know, because when you're at the height of your game and everything's going hunky-dory, that's when you trip over. You can fall at the final hurdle and it can be catastrophic. And you know, just blessed he's still alive. We've still got this great personality, this great former champion, you know. And I hope he can get it back together so we can do something with Tyson with him, because that's what the world and the British public want. But I want to see AJ mentally fit as well as physically fit, you know, and good luck to the kid, you know, and hope he gets the right people around him to get him through this massive ordeal he's been through, you know, because it's absolutely horrendous what's happened to him. But I think he's strong enough, he's got the right personality, he's got the right mental attitude, and he will put his best foot forward and he will get through it, but it's going to take time. Don't know how long.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Well said, and condolences to Lats and Cena and their families.
Unbelievable, you know, it's so sad. Young people can lose their lives, you know, but I've seen it so many times. I've had this in my own family. I lost a first cousin many years ago. I went to the shop, car crash, 17 years old. He's no longer here no more, you know, it's happening time and time again. You've got to be thinking, non-stop thinking today, especially today, you know, and that's why you get this ability to think. And we've all been headstrong. I've been there myself when I've been younger. But as you get older, you can see where you made the mistakes. So I try and tell my kids, look, I've made the mistakes for you. Don't go down that road. Don't do what I did. I've only come sensible now in the last 10 years. And I'm not the sensiblest person, as you can see, you know, but when it comes to me kids, I'm on clock. I'm very sensible then when it comes to their well-being. That's called being a father. Forget everything else. You know, forget the boxing, the fame, this, that and the other. When I need to be a father, I'm a bloody good one. You know, and I can still raise my voice when needed to, you know. And with a young person, you've got to plant the seed, haven't you? You don't go mad, just hang on. I'm telling you, you're not doing the right thing, nice and casually, nice and civil, and they take it on board. And they think, you know what, my dad just could be right. You know, but I'm on it all the time, you know, but like I say, I'm so glad, you know, blessings to God that AJ's still with us, because that would have been a crippling loss for the world. A man so young, you know, and he's got a second chance at life. let me tell you, he'll never be as lucky again in his life, ever.
Lastly, John, sounds like Deontay Wilder is going to fight Oleksandr Usyk, a voluntary defence. What's your thoughts?
Come on, mate. Deontay Wilder's finished. You know, and it's. I'm a bit surprised at Usyk, to be honest with you. You know, he's now. He got two close decisions over Tyson, but to go and backtrack and mess with a man what's not got a leg under him. Deontay Wilder's finished. He's not an opponent. You know, you could pick somebody out the top 10 in Britain and probably do a better job. So at the end of the day, I'm not going along with that. I'm not buying into that. It's absolutely rubbish. They should have fought him when Tyson fought him when he was at his best. Don't tread where the grass is low, because it builds your record, and because you've only got a name on your record now. Deontay Wilder. When Tyson fought, it was 42-0 or 41 knockouts. That's when they should have been stepping up to the plate, and they wasn't. It only took Tyson to have the bollocks to fight him at his best, and unfortunately, it's been too much for Wilder because look at the state he's in. Too terrible.
Off 3 years out, let's not forget.
Well, you know, he's not the same man, is he? He's not got a leg under him, God love him. You know, he's shot one, he's shot to pieces. What does a man like Usyk want to do that for? It's a liberty. It's a liberty. You know, just... You're the number one heavyweight in the world. There's plenty of other people deserving of a chance to fight than Deontay Wilder. Leave Wilder out of it. Somebody in a minute's going to cause Deontay Wilder some serious injury. And going back to the AJ car crash, this can be just as dangerous and just as bad for Deontay Wilder. But it's camouflage better, isn't it? Just as dangerous. Somebody could kill Wilder. You know, because it's terrible. Usyk, there's young Fabio Wardley there, red hot, on his heels. Give him a shot. Give him a shot. I'm not saying that Wardley can outbox him, because that'd be ridiculous, but he's got that detonating equaliser. He proved it with Justice Usyk. He can pull it out of the bag, very dangerous. That'd be good. I'd like to see Aggie Kabayel in with Wardley as well. That'd be a cracking fight. You know, I think Usyk now, if he's going to defend a title, make it out these two men, Aggie Kabayel or Fabio Wardley. They're both there and the right to be there. And if not, a third fight with Tyson. You know, if he doesn't want the third fight with Tyson, there's two men there chomping at his heels. So forget Wilder, it's a mismatch. The man's, you know, basically out of his game. So I'm not buying into that. It's horrible.
There you have it. John Fury, appreciate your time here in Düsseldorf. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
And Happy New Year as well.
It was a pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.